Prep time begins. NBC's former hit television show Community was an interesting one that brought together people from all walks of life at a community college. And the show discusses an important criticism about how people, when they feel like they don't have a sense of community, whether at a community college or not, oftentimes struggle to succeed. And this idea from the show Community that shows that community is important is reflected in the quotation from Mayor Jane Byrne that states, "Chicago's neighborhoods have always been the city's strength." What Ms. Byrne is saying is that our communities are our greatest asset. We can agree with this for two key reasons. First, because our communities fail with unresolved conflict. And second, because our communities can thrive when we get to know the people within them. But the first reason on why Ms. Byrne is correct that our communities are our strongest asset is because our communities fail with unresolved conflict. We can see this with the Compton Cowboys and Roma's Pizza. But first, the Compton Cowboys are within Compton of Los Angeles, California, an area that is riddled with gang violence. So what the Compton Cowboys do is that they take the most vulnerable at-risk youth, mostly kids and their teenagers, and get them involved in horseback riding. This allows them to avoid being taken into a gang at a young age. What the Compton Cowboys have done is decreased the amount of participation within the Crips and the Bloods in Los Angeles, and thus decreasing the amount of violence between them. So when there is conflict that is resolved, the community gets better. But next, let's look at Roma's Pizza, which is a pizzeria in Philadelphia that has a ton of socioeconomic issues and income inequality that have led to a massive homeless population. So what Roma's Pizza does is that it allows any person to give $1 and they can write their name on a sticky note and put the sticky note on a wall. A homeless person can come in at any time, grab a sticky off the wall, and turn it in to claim a slice of pizza. This is a small step towards helping their community deal with the unresolved conflict of homelessness and affordable housing. Thus, these two examples of the Compton Cowboys and Roma's Pizza show the first reason that Ms. Byrne is correct, that our communities are our strongest asset, is because our communities fail when there's unresolved conflict. But the second reason on why Ms. Byrne is absolutely correct, that our communities are our strongest asset, is because our communities can thrive when we get to know the people within them. We can see this with the Human Library and the Hummus Bar. But first, the Human Library is an organization in Copenhagen that allows people who have been cast off by society, whether they be drug addicts, sex workers, or other people of that ilk, to have conversations and be checked out like a library book. However, it's different because individuals from Copenhagen can come in and speak to these people, getting to know and understand their lives. You see, there's tons of conflict in Copenhagen between the upper and lower classes, but the human library has allowed for an increased quality of community because these people are getting to know each other. But finally, we can see this also with the Hummus Bar. The Hummus Bar is a restaurant on the border between Israel and Palestine. Now, this region is rife with conflict, as the Jewish Israelis and often Muslim Palestinians have a ton of historical and geopolitical issues between them. However, these two groups of people oftentimes don't know each other and often describe each other based off what they see in the media. So what the Hummus Bar does is that they allow people to have a free meal if an Israeli and a Palestinian come together and share a meal at their restaurant. This allows Israelis and Palestinians to get to know each other, thus improving the quality of their community. So we can see through the human library and the Hummus Bar the second reason on why Ms. Byrne is correct that our communities are our strongest asset, and that is because we can thrive in our communities when we get to know the people within them. Thus, when returning to the quotation from Mayor Jane Byrne that states, "Chicago's neighborhoods have always been the city's strength," what Ms. Byrne is saying is that our communities are our greatest strength. We agreed with this for two reasons. First, because our communities fail with unresolved conflict, and we saw this through the Compton Cowboys and Roma's Pizza. But second, because our communities can thrive when we get to know the people within them. And we saw this through the human library and Hummus Bar. At the end of the day, the television show Community not only is about literal community college, but it casts an important message for all of us, that when we get to know the people in our community and resolve conflict, we thrive.